Hi, this is Jean Daniel, the new Minister for Youth and Young Adults for the Montreal and Ottawa Conference of the United Church of Canada, wishing you a Happy New Year and reminding you that baby Jesus is always watching us. Right there, from the corner of my office specifically. Right there. Hi. It's the new year. Why is it the new year? Well, in English-speaking countries, it actually wouldn't be New Year's Day until March 25th, until about 1752. That doesn't matter, but what matters is that it's arbitrary. When does the new year begin? The earth is hurtling around the sun every day. So what makes this the new year? Because we agreed that it does. On January 1st, the Christian churches that celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th celebrate the day that Jesus was brought to the temple to be circumcised and named on the 8th day of his life, exactly 1 week later on January 1st. Just as we don't know when Jesus was actually born, we don't know what was 8 days later. But it's the day that we celebrate him having a name and being dedicated to the Lord. So it's a good day symbolically to remember new life, new beginnings, and a new year. Because I am a pastor, I want to wish you a Happy New Year in the most pastory way I know, with a Bible verse from my lovely Bible. Of Isaiah chapter 43, which we find in the Hebrew Bible, or Old Testament portion of the Bible. The prophet Isaiah is speaking to God's people who find themselves far away from home. They've been taken into exile, meaning a conquering country has come in and forcibly removed them to live in another place, Babylon, far from home. And it's in this context that the prophet speaking for the Lord says, "Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Imagine being far from home. God's people were from Judea, and they found themselves in Babylon. By the time that Isaiah was speaking, most of the people to whom he was speaking would not have actually known their own homeland. We're talking about multiple generations of feeling separated. And Isaiah, the prophet, he isn't just optimistic. He may even sound crazy. Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. Do not remember the former things? I don't know about you, but I spend most of my week before New Year's looking at BuzzFeed, seeing countdowns of the best and worst of the previous year. And yet Isaiah says, don't dwell on the past. But that is a hard lesson. For some of us, nearly impossible at various times of our life. The hope does not come from just ignoring what was hard. The hope for us does not come from just ignoring the hard things, though. It comes from seeing the good. Isaiah says, "Do you not see it? God is about to do a new thing. Do you not perceive it?" I don't know what your 2014 was like. Maybe it was the best year of your life. Maybe it was really hard. If it was like most of our years, I imagine it was a mix of both. But we're looking forward, knowing that our God is doing a new thing. Something wonderful could be about to happen in our lives. I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The New Year's optimism that we can find in Isaiah isn't about pretending that wildernesses and deserts are not part of our future. It's not about imagining that everything will be perfect and easy. Just like those ancient people of God, there's sometimes a distance between where we are and where God is able to take us. A distance of wildernesses and deserts, of things that are scary, that are hard, that seem impossible. The promise is not that those things will go away. The promise is that you will find a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. What if things are going well for you? Perhaps this can be a year where we find ways to help other people find their way in the wilderness, where we help others find rivers in the desert. See, following Jesus isn't just about believing in what he can do. It's in trying to do it with him. One thing I'm really proud of in our United Church tradition is our commitment to being welcoming and inclusive of everybody. It's a commitment that we've believed in for decades. It's part of who we are at our best. Something that touched me really profoundly in the last few days was learning about the suicide of a young lady named Leela from Ohio. Leela was a transgender young woman, victim of harassment and bullying, who committed suicide by placing herself in traffic. She left a note asking those of us behind to make the world a better place, to recognize, in her words, that this world is effed up and that we need to fix it. There are people wandering around us, perhaps in the schools and workplaces and homes that maybe for us we are lucky enough to feel like are safe. But for them, they are dangerous and frightening wildernesses. I believe in God's promise that there can be a way through those wildernesses, but I believe it's our responsibility as those who follow Jesus to make those ways in the wilderness. Whoever we meet, whoever we encounter, may we love them with the love that God has for them. May we see everybody that we encounter in this coming year as a fellow child of our loving God. Somebody deserving a hand to hold as they look for their way through the wilderness. As somebody deserving water in their times of desert. A hug, a handshake, a friendly greeting. The courage to stand up for those who are being harassed and bullied and say, that is not okay. In 2015, in my life, in your life, in all of our lives, God is doing a new thing. Something wonderful can be springing up. And I hope that together we can find ways to make it happen. And for those of you who are youth and young adults in the Montreal and Ottawa Conference of the United Church of Canada, I mean that very literally. Let's find ways in this coming year to get together, to do community service, to fight for social justice, to build networks of friends and community, and to worship our God. One of my favorite things that I get to do as a pastor is that each Communion Sunday, after words of confession, I get to say, the past is finished and gone. Through Jesus Christ, all things are new. It's a new year. Happy New Year.